And now, to talk about our module of the week, let's turn it over to Martin Anderson Klutz, a principal solutions engineer at Acquia and a maintainer of a number of Drupal modules and recipes of his own, to talk about our module of the week. What do you have for us, Martin?
Thanks, John. Have you ever wanted to use AI to help content editors create alt text and image fields? There's a module for that. It's called AI Image Alt Text, and it was created in August of 2024 by Marcus Johansson of freelygive.io. It has a 1.0.1 version available, which supports Drupal 10.2 and 11. It is actively maintained, has security coverage, and there are 19 open issues, 7 of which are bugs, which is pretty good considering it's officially in use by 4,249 sites according to Drupal.org. Now, with the module installed, after a user uploads an image into an image field, they will see a button labeled Generate with AI before the alternative text input. Clicking that button will send the image to an LLM to suggest alt text, which will be used to populate the alt text input. In the settings page for the module, you can adjust the prompt used to accompany the image and choose which AI provider should be used. The module creates an image style that will scale the image to fit within a 200 pixel square and convert it to a PMG for maximum compatibility. You can alter the image style if you want, or specify a different image style in the settings if you prefer. There is also a setting you can enable to auto generate the alt text as soon as an image is uploaded to save users a step. With that enabled, you can even hide the Generate with AI button, though that would make it harder for users to regenerate the alt text suggestion if they weren't happy with the first result. This module uses AI to make a suggestion for the alt text, but ultimately it is the responsibility of the user to validate the result and make changes if needed. This aligns with the principle of keeping a human in the loop when using AI, which is definitely a best practice. It's also worth noting that this module is included in both the DXPR CMS and Drupal CMS site starters. So if you're planning to start a new Drupal site with one of those, you'll have this capability available. But let's talk about AI image alt text.
I love this module.
Do you use it?
That's it. I just love it. Yes, I do use it. I use it on my personal blog because I'm lazy and looking at, images sometimes writing alt text. I'm like, what would be helpful here? And like you hit the button and it goes, hey, this is what could be helpful. And you go, well, maybe let me adjust this a little bit because that's a picture of me. And, I need to add a little bit more context, but kind of like I don't know. It helps you get that first draft out there, and you can kinda iterate on it if you want, and sometimes it actually gets it totally right, where you're like, "Yeah, this is good. This will describe this image perfectly." So, yeah, I love this module.
I'm curious actually. I mean, the idea behind alt text is for accessibility, right? To make or by not just accessible, well, I guess it's still part of accessibility, but or if the image doesn't load, describing what's in the image, right? I wonder if anybody's done a full-blown analysis yet from an accessibility standpoint of these descriptions, right? Because a lot of it is subjective, right? An accessibility audit will flag missing alt text, but that's not real like an automated accessibility scan will flag it if it's missing, but it doesn't really evaluate the quality of it. Like if you have a car with something happening and it just says a car or period, right? There's an alt text. An automated scan is not going to catch that. Or if it's a decorative image, you're not supposed to actually have an alt text at all. So a lot of the times when we have a client and they do an accessibility a true accessibility audit, they'll look at the image and say, "Hey, you put 150 words here. Really, you should limit to 120, and this isn't really descriptive as to what's happening. This is how you want to do it." I wonder if somebody's taken a site where somebody's been using AI and evaluated the quality. Because it's one thing to be like, "Yeah, that matches it," but is it matching the purpose of the alt text, or is it just putting something there that kind of satisfies its need? And I'd be
You
curious to know
you
if
wanna
that's
know
cool.
you wanna know, like, a percentage of sites that use AI alt text, like, how effective that alt text
Yeah.
actually
Is
is.
it and is it making them actually more? Because one thing we know about AI is it's verbose, and is it helping and like you said, John, people are lazy. So if you're
Nope,
I'm right.
nope, I said I'm lazy.
Okay, I generalize that because the general is true as well. And the truth is, sometimes that's a benefit because you'll be more succinct, right? When you're
So,
describing something. And,
yeah, there
a screen reader getting a book on every single image
well, so I
describing
don't
it,
it
is that
doesn't it definitely doesn't, or at least in my experience, I should say. I shouldn't generalize for everybody, but in my experience, it doesn't go, like, super long. So the sub prompt that button is using, or the instructions that it's giving based on the also adding the image must be saying, "Hey, this is gonna be alt text, keep it short, do your thing," right? But I don't know, part of me is like, "Hey, if pressing the button provides some sort of description for an image, some description is better than no description," right? I also agree that, like, to your point, if you're like, "Hey, it's a picture of a car," but if it's a car on fire, like, you definitely wanna, like, add those details in there, or if it's a blue car or a red car, right? So, like, I don't know. I think, as Martin described and as Drupal is moving to, like, a human in the loop, like, yes, we're lazy, but hey, if I can analyze the image and it can pull out the key facts and I can add a few more
yeah.
few more that I think are important, like, I feel like it's a good solve.
Yeah, like and I'm not advocating for not using it. I'm just more curious about the quantitative aspect of
Yeah.
the accessibility side of it, because at some point, we need to see if this is making the situation better or worse for the
I feel
people
like
it's meant for.
that could be a good study of like, hey, listen, we generated all the alt tags on this site using AI. How many of like as a percentage, how many of them are actually useful to the people that are using them, or if the image doesn't load?
Well, I will say that I noticed that there was one of the issues that was actually in the issue queue for the module was posted by Mike Gifford, who's been on the show talking about accessibility. So he's probably a pretty good person to sort of weigh in on that question of whether the suggestions that are being generated are actually good quality, or if potentially there are opportunities to improve maybe even the prompt that's being used so that we actually get better suggestions back. So, if he or any other accessibility experts who listen to the show and have tried out the module want to weigh in our channel, it would be great to discuss,
Yeah.
that question specifically around what's sort of the subjective quality of those suggestions.
And now calling in from his home, Mike Gifford, let's join. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it would be great if we had that kind of pull, but we don't.
I have a question. Are you able to kind of train the module to like for so I see the accessibility route obviously, but from a marketing side of things, oftentimes images can be used in a lot of different ways for marketing, SEO in particular. So like would you be able to train are you able to kind of train this AI to kind of say, "Hey, I want a description, but I also want you to tag the title and maybe a short description of the actual article within the alt text as well?"
So you can definitely use AI for those purposes, but there's a different module that's actually part of the core AI module that can do those kinds of things in terms of like suggesting, let's say, the summary or the title, those kinds of things as well.
Can you
Yeah, but
I
I'm
think
talking about in the alt text though. I'm literally
yeah, yeah,
talking about
yeah.
like, hey, I
He
want like this is a
Oh, I
yellow
see
car
what you're
driving
saying.
down
To
a
add that as
street.
context.
editing like the
It
prompt.
in the article in the article that it was written by John Picozzi on blah 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 because he's lazy type of thing, right? So could you add that to this alt text because oftentimes alt text is used for SEO purposes for marketers, not just accessibility. It's like yes, obviously accessibility is a huge
I
deal,
know
but if I can have my image show up when someone looks up a CVE,
yeah.
then I'm going to put the CVE number in the alt text as well.
I know a lot of what the AI team and the AI module does. You do have the ability to kind of rewrite the prompts that it uses. I would have to look to see if this module allows for that. I don't know if you know off the top of your head, Martin.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I'm not sure that you can sort of put in tokens that correspond to other fields, but that's
Oh,
certainly
right,
something we
because
could look into.
the AI wouldn't necessarily have that information because you're only providing it with the image, right?
Yeah. Theoretically, there's probably other ways to do it, but yeah, it's an interesting question.
I'm looking at the image alt AI settings now. Oh, so yeah, you can. You can add you can edit the prompt if you would like to, and this prompt is, I mean, what you would expect. But yeah, I don't see any token replacement where you could add in like a title or have it look at other fields. So I think you're probably spot on there.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, that's probably something to raise with Marcus, and I'm sure it's been discussed, but they probably have to have some sort of dynamic hook system for like taking responses and or prompts and modifying them before or after they come back. And if it's dynamic, so you can do it per field or per prompt type or something, that'd be great. But
So
who knows if they've integrated that yet?
So, Nick, to answer your question, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the prompt starts with, "You're a helpful accessibility expert that can provide alt text for images." And then it goes on to say, "You should follow these instructions and take these considerations into account. Keeping the alt text short and descriptive under 100 characters is the first
Ca-
one." So
Can you copy that into the show notes? I think that'd be interesting to throw.
I absolutely can.
Awesome. We don't have to do that right now. We
Sorry, I was there, so I just did it.
can.
Well, Martin, this was a very interesting and an energizing module of the week. If folks wanted to connect with you or suggest a module of the week, how could they go about doing that?
We are always happy to have lively discussions about candidates or, past modules of the week in the Talking Drupal channel of Drupal Slack, or folks can reach out to me directly as Manclue on all of the Drupal and social channels.
All right. Thanks, Martin, and we'll catch you next week.
See you
Same here.
then.